Welcome back. Now, it has been called a proper rags to riches story. Back in 2011, Dave Fishwick set up Burnley Savings and Loans, a bank in Burnley that strived to lend money to small businesses and those who struggled to get loans from the bigger banks.
It sounds like a simple tale, doesn't it? But it's one that attracted the attention of Hollywood. A minibus dealer from Burnley turned multi-million-pound businessman. Dave Fishwick isn't your typical banker. In 2011, he vowed to take on the financial giants, setting up Britain's first community bank in over 100 years. When the global financial system collapsed in 2008, many of his customers said they just couldn't cope. Banks wouldn't lend them any money, even if they had a good credit rating. That's when Burnley Savings and Loans was born, a lifeline from Dave to his community. The bank has now lent millions of pounds, helping people start their own businesses or get on the property ladder. The rags to riches tale has now become a Netflix blockbuster.
Well, last time I checked, you sold minibuses.
Yeah, I know, but you're not a bank that serves the whole community.
You was a banker.
Filming took place in Burnley, back where it all began, shining a light on the north of England. Bond actor Rory Kinnear will play Dave, while Bridgerton star Phoebe Dynevor is also cast in the biopic.
So, a man wants to open a bank. Is this the start of another joke?
Quite the investment in the hope Dave's vision will reach a global audience. We've heard his story, which is remarkable, and we had a chat with him earlier and started by asking about the phone call he received all the way from Tinseltown.
I got this phone call from Hollywood, like you do.
Yeah. Did he just say, hello, this is so-and-so from Hollywood?
Yeah, he said, is that Dave from Burnley? I said, yeah. I thought he wanted a bus. And he said...
14-seater or 12?
Yeah. Hey, you know exactly what we're doing. Proper. You can sell a few. In fact, at some point, I do need to go back and sell some. I do have a job. But he rang me and said, Dave, I'm ringing about wanting to make a movie about your life. He said, I'm out having dinner in Hollywood with the voiceover guy that did the original Bank of Dave series on Channel 4 with Fine Stripe. And he said, I've just made a big movie in England called Fisherman's Friends. It's done really well. It's a feel-good movie. We want another one. I've looked at your story. I want to make your story. I want to make it like a biopic about how you built the bank and how you're going through the process. And I said, well, normally biopic, you're dead. I said, I'm still here. I'm talking to you. And he said, no. He said, we want to do it. So he come over and he met me and he come to Burnley, all the way from Hollywood. And I got chatting to him and he said, Netflix getting involved. And I thought, that's awesome, because now it will be done in such a way that it will just be fab. But I chatted to Netflix and I said, look, I'll only do it if we can film it in Burnley at the places where everything done.
Real life.
Real life. And they loved that idea. And they've been so kind. They've been brilliant. And they said, that's the only way we want it. So we rung Phoebe off Bridgerton, Netflix's biggest female star, Phoebe Dynevor, Bridgerton, 400 million viewers. We said, Phoebe, guess where you're going?
You kind of left out the bit about who was potentially going to play you.
We did have a chat about Tom
Cruise.
Yeah, you see, it's the likeness, isn't it? You can see the likeness.
It was
I can see that as well.
Instantly what I thought of.
Yes.
I can see you in a little fighter jet now.
Well, like I said, he's more me than me. I remember him knocking on my door and saying, I opened it and there he were, come to meet me for the first time. He said, Dave, meet Dave.
And what, you're so passionate and you're so enthusiastic and you are genuinely making a difference to so many people with the Bank of Dave. I know this is, you're here today to talk about the Netflix film and all the razzmatazz, but there've been lots of people watching this who you well know are really struggling at the minute.
Yes.
What's your view currently on this cost of living crisis, on payday loans, on so many people who are really struggling? We say to make ends meet, but to actually survive at the minute, Dave.
What I'd love the viewers to do at home is, when they're watching this, is whatever they're going to do, if they borrow money, all you need to know is the APR isn't super important, but it's important, annual percentage rate. What you want to do is look at what your payments are going to be, add up what the final payment's going to be, divide it by the amount of years you're doing, that's the money you pay back. You can look at all these fancy numbers and they can have fees and all sorts of things hidden, but look at what the total payment is, knock off what you're borrowing, divide the difference by the amount of years you're taking it over, that's what the interest is going to cost you. APR is important, but that's more important. And the thing with the payday loan industry, if you can, just stay away from them. What we do at Burnley Savings and Loans is, we sometimes lend to people who've had some problems in the past. We manually underwrite. David Henshaw, my right-hand man, he's been in banking for 60-odd years. And he looks at people as people. A computer 300 miles away can't make a decision about whether to lend to a florist or a cafe. How can they? Where we'll look at people. They've had a problem in the past, so we'll have a look. We've lent over 30 million to thousands of people and businesses across the UK. But recently I got a letter from Park School, just a few weeks ago, and it said, Dave, unfortunately we don't want a van or a bus, but we need you to help, as kids are coming to school starving.
This is in Burnley.
This is in Colne, just outside Burnley, yeah. Can you help? We need this big industrial toasting machine, and we need food, and we need it fast. And I said, no problem. So the profits from the Bank of Dave, we went over, we bought the industrial food machine, we bought a year's supply of food for the kids. I said, 3 months before you run out, ring me again, I'll buy another year's supply of food. This is what's needed.
Can we have Bank of Dave on every high street, please? Well, can we make that happen ASAP?
I hope the movie inspires other people to open a community finance operation, lending to the community to benefit the community and run by the community. There's just over 1,000 large towns and cities in the UK. If you had a bank of Tracy, Anne, Dan, whoever on every high street, in each community, just one, all lending 30, 40 million to their community, what a difference that would make. The big banks dislike me with a passion, but I quite like that.
Well, we've absolutely loved having you on the programme. Thank you so much. We wish you all the best with the programme.
Thank you so much.
And with all the things you're involved in, and thank you for helping so many people.
Well, we do not dislike Dave. He's an inspiration, absolute inspiration.
Brilliant spending time with him.